Hey everybody, so today I am joined by Dexter, and if you haven't seen the title of the video, I'm going to be doing just a basic care about like bearded dragons and like information on them and just what I've learned from having this little buddy around and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I'd say these are probably the easiest reptiles to have. They're the most gentle and the most easy to handle. They're pretty chill, they don't really do much. This is like his extent of chilling right now. This is like his little bear I got him, moose to like lay on. But yeah, he likes it. He just kind of lays on there. They're very gentle animals. They hardly ever bite. I've never had mine like hiss at me. The only time I ever saw him fully with like his beard was when I went to go pick him up for the first time when I adopted him, so that was like it. But I'm just gonna be doing like a basic intro to them, and if you have any more questions, just let me know, leave them down below. But he is a male, obviously. He is fully grown. He is about, I'd say 20 inches. He did have a accident, the past owner told me, with his tail. He had to get it cut in surgery, but it's all healed up now. He sheds about, I'd say twice a year, but I think that's gonna be reduced soon. He doesn't go into brumation. He just gets a little bit lazy, but not like fully, he doesn't fully sleep for a couple months, so that's pretty cool. I get to have him around for a few months during the winter. I know a lot of people's goes into brumation and they sleep, but he doesn't. He has a 40-gallon tank. He's about, the owner said 4 years old. I got him, it was the weekend, okay, my parents went away for a weekend, and I really wanted a bearded dragon, and I was thinking about it for like a while. A couple years ago, I met one of my friends from college. She has 3 of them, so I was like, oh my god, these things are like really cool, like they'll be really cool to have. And the only thing I had at the time was guinea pigs, so I was like, okay, like maybe I can get like a baby one from the place where I work at. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, like I'd really just rather like see what they have, like wait a little bit. And the girl who I was friends with knew somebody, and she was like, hey, like you want to get this one? So I was like, okay. So the guy actually gave me like everything for him, the tank, the lights, like him, the decor, so that was pretty cool. He said that he wasn't really like taken care of like the best he could have been, so I felt really bad. So I was like, alright, like I'll adopt him. I'd rather adopt one than like get a baby. And I heard that adults are easier to take care of than babies, so I was like, alright, for my first reptile I'll get like an adult. I know I showed this in my like fall favorites when I got him, but he eats waxworms, which are basically just like these little worms. He really likes them. I don't know if he's gonna eat it, but I buy him the Flukers crickets. They're freeze dried, but they are like moisturized. They have a lot of moisture in them, which is good, just so he gets his water intake. And then his like main food that I give him are super worms. He really likes these. I think these are like his favorite. They just look like that. They're like really big. But what I used to feed him is, I can't find where it is. I have to buy a new one when I go to work tomorrow, but it was a little jar. It's called Reptiv, I think. It's like a vitamin kind of supplement you put on their food. You always want to make sure you have it when you give them protein, just so they're getting those extra vitamins they would normally get like in the wild, just for their diet. But what I do is I'll chop up like a salad every day, and I'll put it on his like dish. I get these at the Dollar Tree, 8 for $1. So I just use them and throw them out the next day. and it lasts me a week. Feed him, I actually put the worms in the cap to the like container, just to like save extra money and like plastic and stuff. Reuse these, and then I'll sprinkle like the powder on it and give it to him. I will always take him out of his cage when I feed him insects, just because I don't want the insects going in the cage and like dying and, you know, just kind of like being there. So I'll always feed him outside his cage, but the vegetables I'll put inside his cage just so he has them for the day, and they're always readily available to him. He is, his cage, I'll insert a video now of like what his cage looks like. Okay, so this is Dexter's cage. Like I was saying before, or maybe not, I think I'm gonna say that next, but we just kind of have like a basic thing. As you can see, Dexter's kind of laying in his hammock right now. Like I was talking about, I have a little hammock for him, and then that's like his water bowl. I don't really have it filled up all the time just because the water will evaporate, but I have his little like dragon head here, so he could easily get off of the hammock here and then into the tank itself. This is kind of like an overview of it. Up here, this is the night bulb. Like I said, it has the red light. That one is his basking light. And then I just have the UVB light here, and then the ceramic heat bulb here. So that's his basking area right over here. It's just a log, and then right on top is the basking light. So that is around, I think it was 102 degrees when I tested it. As you can see, here is the thermometer of the whole cage. It's going to be a little bit warmer than the actual side over here, just because that is the basking light, so it is a little bit warmer. So you really should have a thermometer on this side and then one on the other side, but I test it frequently, so I have an idea of what it is. I have like a digital thermometer that you can like scan the area, so I always know what's going on with that. But I just have some tiles on the ground here. He likes to lay on these when it gets kind of too hot up there, just because these get a little bit warmer, but they're still kind of cooler on the ground. And then that was his broccoli from this morning. As you could see throughout the day, it kind of gets dried up. That's why you always want to refresh the vegetables and just have like reusable plates that you can toss and get rid of. He did pee back there. Bearded dragons don't pee, they actually just, that kind of, it's kind of like poop, but like white poop. But if he was to poop, he would like poop, and then that would be with it, that would be like the pee, but it's just hardened like pee, like that. I don't know how to explain it, if that makes sense, but I will go in there after this and just clean that up. But like I said, I haven't cleaned the cage in like a couple days, so they pretty much stay pretty clean. There is no mess to really clean up with them except when they do go to the bathroom, but he would most likely just poop in his dish, so I would just toss that when he does. He's pretty smart like that, so there he is chilling. Like I said, he does love his hammock I have there. I do put the light above it just so he stays warm while he's chilling. But if he is cold, he will go on top of the log up there. But the tank, I said, is a 40 breeder, and I just kind of have it on my desk here, and then I just have some extra supplies over here, like fish stuff and all that. But that's the tank. And I just have his little moose that you saw, a cricket container over there, and yeah, so that's that. It's a 40 breeder. When I got the tank, it had a lot of stuff in it. It was a lot of like old stuff. It was gross, like you could clearly tell he wasn't taken care of, so I kind of just threw everything out. The only thing I kept was that branch that you see. over time I bought him like the tiles that you see, and I bought him like a water like kind of bath thing. And then for Christmas he just got his hammock. He loves it. I always put him in it. And then just a little dragon so he can like easily get off the hammock and into the hammock. And then I have like a little dish of like whatever vegetable I give him that day. He really likes red peppers or orange peppers. Not so much the green ones. He likes broccoli, he likes carrots. Kale is like a staple in their diet. You always want to give them kale. That's like about all the vegetables I give him. Sometimes I'll give him apples, sometimes I'll give him butternut squash. You really shouldn't give them that much of it. Once in a while for a treat, I'll go to the farmer's market and pick him up stuff. Is the cutest little bug ever. Like, look at him. He won't get any bigger. He is average size right now, so if you're looking into getting like a reptile, besides geckos, these are pretty much going to be your smaller ones. The iguanas, the water dragons, all those kind of lizards get like super big. This was his size, and their tank isn't that big, so they can live their life out in a 40. 55s aren't recommended just because they're a little bit taller and they're not as wide. So if you were to get, you would get like a 75 or like 120, just so it's like a little bit bigger and it's not like narrow. As long as they can like turn around and not like hit their tail or anything, that's like ideal. Their temperature in their cages usually should be around 85 to 100 degrees in their basking spot. That's going to be like the highest point, the hottest point in their cage. Just to keep their temperature, you have to like recreate their surroundings. But typically you'll have one side, I'll show you when I show you the cage, but one side will be the hot side and then one side will be like the cooler side. So one side will be like the 100 degree and then the other side will be like 75. But you would usually have your heat lamp, which creates the heat, and then you have your UVB light, which like the rays from the sun, and that'll come with like the UVA, which they need. So it's like kind of a game with the lighting you have to play with. Always make sure you have like a thermometer just to make sure the lighting is producing like the right amount of heat. Right now I have a ceramic heat bulb just to keep the temperature in his cage warmer because it's the winter now and I don't want it going below 75 in the whole cage itself. So I keep that in there. I keep it on all the time. I actually bought it on Amazon. The bulb and the lamp dome I use. So if you want to look that up. And then this was the bulb I bought. It's 100 watt, and then the one that I have in there is 120 for the heat, and then I think it's 75 for the UVB. I'm pretty sure. And then at night you just want to like keep the heat up, but you're gonna use the infrared light because they can't see it, and you don't want to keep them up at night. So, but you still want to keep the heat, if that makes sense. So you're gonna put on the red one at night, and I just keep this one on also with it, because if I just keep the red on, it's gonna go below 75 and I don't want that. So I keep the heat and the ceramic heat bulb on plus the red light, and it keeps the temperature between 75 and 80, which is fine for him at night. He doesn't seem to mind it. I've had him since September, so we're going on our 4th month, I believe. All of September, October, November, December, yeah, about 4 months. So he's been a pretty happy dragon. I try to get him things that I know he'll like. I tried a food for him from I think it was ZooMed. It was like a bearded dragon garden mix. He really didn't, where are you going? He didn't really like it. He did pick the blueberries out, but he didn't eat them. It also had mealworms in it, but he doesn't seem to like mealworms. He likes the super worms better. But what are you gonna do? As long as he's getting his vegetables and his vitamins and his protein, I'm not too concerned about the mealworms. But the last thing I'm going to talk about is just like cleaning the cage and upkeep with it. Usually they don't really go to the bathroom like that much. He usually like twice or once a week. I want to say like about 2 times. But it's not much. One time a week it will be a lot, but like another time it's just like a little bit. You can usually, if they're not going to the bathroom, you can put them in like warm water, and that kind of like helps things like to get going. But I'll usually bathe him about once a week, but he doesn't go to the bathroom. He'll just go to the bathroom in his cage, usually on his food bowl, which really sucks, but at least it's easy cleanup. Give him a bath like once a week just to clean him, keep him happy. I usually use like lukewarm water, not too hot, not too cold. Typically what you would use for like a baby. You'll spot clean their cage. He really doesn't make a mess. Like I said, I use the dishes for his food. He never really gets anything off of the dish, so it's big enough where he can have his food on here, and he can also kind of like put himself on there if he wants to. So he doesn't really make a mess. Like, I'll show you the cage. I just cleaned it like a couple days ago, and it's like spotless. But once a month I'll do like a super deep clean where I'll take everything out of the cage. I'll put it in the shower, and I'll put the water on like the hottest, and I'll like boil everything to like beyond like I wouldn't go near it. It's so hot. But I'll do that like every 3 weeks just to make sure everything stays like super clean. And then while everything is in the shower, I'll use this and I'll go through his cage. My manager actually told me about this, and it works very well. When I actually first got his cage, it smelled so bad, and I said to myself, I'm like, bearded dragons are not supposed to smell like this. I was actually pretty worried that like it was gonna stay that way, but it was just because the owner previously did not clean his cage. I don't think he ever cleaned the cage. But the day I got him, the next day I got him, because I got him at night. So the next day, I went to work, and I came home, and I asked my manager, and my manager told me about this. I used it. It's the Zoo Med Terrarium and Small Animal Cage. It's a disinfectant, cleaner, and deodorizer. Wipe Out 1. So what I did was, I took everything out of the cage. I sprayed this, and I let it sit for 5 minutes, cleaned it out with like a warm wet paper towel, and then I did it like 3 times over, and it has yet to smell to this day. So this works very well. If you have like an issue, it could be that you're just not cleaning it that often. You could just not be cleaning it like enough. So I would just suggest going out and getting this. It was $8 at my pet store, so it was worth it. This is probably my 3rd bottle, so that's how much I use. That was probably, I think this was like, it was here my last cleaning I did, so it lasts you a while. I would get it. I use it just for his cage. My guinea pig, I have like another thing I use, and I wouldn't use this on my fish tank, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. I do take him out. I took him out once. I brought him to my job, but it was a little colder that day. It was back in like October, I'd say. But if you're gonna do, if you're gonna bring him, if you have a bearded dragon and you're gonna bring them out, just wait for like a hot day, just so they don't get too cold, and just so you don't really have to worry about them getting like stressed or anything. I am looking forward to bringing him out in the summer. I'm gonna get him like a little hamper to put him in, and if you saw them on like Pinterest, you could put them in a closed hamper outside, and the sun is really good for them. And then if you have like dandelions that grow like around your house, you can pick them and then give it to them. It's supposed to be good for them as long as there's no like chemicals or anything that you use on your lawn. So yeah, and then I actually have a little leash for him. I don't know where it went. I had it a while ago, but it's a little collar and then a black leash, just so I can walk him. He doesn't really like it, but we'll see what happens in the summer. Where are you going? But yeah, this is just his little like moose I put him on whenever I take him out of his cage. But I will be putting him back like right now just because it's getting a little cold, and he's getting a little cold, but he is a happy camper. And yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. Leave them down below.